You can call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas 2 is the first main event of 2025. Takes place January 11th at the Apex in Vegas. Not the best card to start out the year, to be honest with you, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm just glad that we get cards almost every week, but this one leaves me wanting a little bit more, but it is what it is. I understand a lot of fighters don't want to do fight camps over the holidays. They want to spend it with their family and everything. But anyways, I'm gonna run through this card. Haven't looked at the odds. Haven't done any really analysis or anything, but just gonna take a look at these and get my hot takes on them. So Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. I think Ribas will take this one, just from what I've seen from her. I think she's a much better striker. Also a very good black belt, good on the ground. Mackenzie Dern, she only has a chance if she can get it to the ground, but she doesn't have any takedowns. She doesn't have any striking to set up her takedowns. Can't threaten on the feet. Her only way to win is to get somebody on the ground and control the fight there, win rounds, or get a submission. So I think Ribas will be able to keep it on the feet and win rounds that way, get a unanimous decision. Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. This is a fun fight. I understand why this is the co-main. Both these guys like to stand and bang. Chris Curtis kind of one-dimensional, more of a boxer. Roman Kopylov, he'll mix it up a little bit more. He's the younger guy. He's what is he? He's 33. Chris Curtis is 37. 37 at middleweight. I don't know. He hasn't looked the best as of late. Lost to Brendan Allen. Split over Marc-Andre Barrios. No contest to Imavov. Lost to Kelvin Gastelum in 2023. Beat Joaquin Buckley. That win's aged well, but I don't know. I think Roman Kopylov probably takes this one. He was on an absolute tear there before he ran into Anthony Hernandez, who choked him out. But Chris Curtis ain't going to be shooting takedowns, and if he does and gets a takedown, he's not going to be subbing anybody. So he's not going to unveil that new wrinkle to his game at 37. But he was on a 4-fight win streak before he came across Anthony Hernandez. Had kind of a lackluster performance against Cesar Almeida, who I think is fighting on this card too. But my gut says Kopylov in this one. I think he'll be able to just land the better strikes on the feet. The more I think about it, the more I think this will be more of a tactical fight versus a slobber knocker. So Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. I immediately lean Trey Ogden just because I think he's very well rounded, has a very good top game, can get people to the ground and hold them there. Coming off of 2 unanimous decision wins, no contest to Nicolas Mota. I think that he had a choke in and it got stopped early, which is kind of BS. But Ignacio Bahamondes, he lost by decision. Beat Daniel Zellhuber. Lost to Jordan Levitt by split. That's shocking. But before that, pretty good record. Dude's pretty good. I like Trey Ogden. He's a good coach too. He runs a good gym up in New York City. 35 years old. Not the youngest guy for lightweight. 5'11", 72-inch reach. Thiago Moises, younger, 29, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach. So he'll have the reach advantage. I think Trey Ogden will be the much bigger guy in this fight. I think he cuts a lot more weight than Thiago Moises. But Thiago Moises, he was good at one point. What was it? Came into the UFC, lost to some good guys. Beat Kurt Hollabaugh, who I think is underrated. Beats Michael Johnson, Bobby Green, Alexander Hernandez. Goes 4 rounds with Islam Makhachev. That was 3 years ago, but still. Joel Alvarez, dude's a savage. He lost to him, though. 2 wins against Cannes. Lose to Benoit Saint Denis. Loses to Ludovic Klein. I mean, he's losing to really good people, but I just think Trey Ogden's going to be too well-rounded for him. I think Trey Ogden's better on the feet. I think he'll be able to get takedowns, stay out of trouble on the ground, so I would lean Trey Ogden, but again, I need to watch a little bit more footage on these guys. Magomed Gadzhiesulov, 9-0, undefeated, 31 years old, in his prime, 6'2", 75.5-inch reach versus Brunao Lopez, 13-1, 31, 6'2", 74.5-inch reach, so pretty identical frames. 1 loss to Brinson Ribeiro, which is not a good loss. I don't think he's very good. Came back, beat a guy. Mikhail Zaziani. Got a lot of finishes on his record, though. A lot of subs, a lot of KOs. Gadzulov. Like I said, undefeated, a lot of decisions. Where's he from? He's from Dagestan. Yeah. I mean, you gotta default to the undefeated Dagestanis, right? That's a good matchup though. 13-1 versus 9-0 on that. I don't know. I would assume the Dagestani, but I've seen crazier things. I've seen crazier things happen in the UFC, especially as of late. Undercard, Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Cesar Almeida. I think Cesar Almeida is garbage. I think he's got really quick kicks. Other than that, he's just primarily a striker. Beat Ior Potaria, who's also on this card, who's also garbage. Beat Dylan Budka, garbage. Abdul Razak Al Hassan, 12-6. Awful record. He's 39 years old. 5'10 at middleweight, 73-inch reach versus 6'1, 74.5 reach. Man, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for this card. No contest to Cody Brundage. Lost to Joe Pyfer. Claudio Ribeiro, who again, garbage. Lost to Joaquin Buckley by split. Alessio Chirico, head kick. I remember that. Man. He's not going to shoot takedowns on Cesar Almeida. I know that for a fact. All of his wins are by KO. I think Cesar Almeida probably outpoints him in this one. They're both old. They're both old as hell, though. 36, 39 for the middleweight division, and they're strikers. I would lean Almeida in this one, but that's kind of a toss-up for me. Marco Tulio versus Ior Poteria. Ior 6'3", 75.5-inch reach versus 6'1", 74.5-inch reach. Marco Tulio fights out of Shoot the Box out of Brazil. On a mean streak right now. Last loss was in 2018. 7-fight winning streak. 30 years old. Ior Poteria. 1 win against a nobody back in February. Beat Mauricio Hua, but who's not beating Mauricio Hua in 2023? I gotta go with Marco Tulio in this one. Probably send Poteria out of the UFC, to be honest with you. Next up's Ernesta Caracate versus Nicole Cagliari. Ernesta Caracate, she's not bad. She's, what is she, 5'9", 71.5 or 71-inch reach versus 5'3", 62-inch reach. She's 26. This other girl's 28. I mean, just on the reach alone, you got to go Caracate, right? Lost to Dion Barbosa, who's really good. She's really good on the ground, but has, you know, much improved striking. Cagliari. Lost to Kay Hansen back in 2019, who's 8-6 now. She's on kind of a run herself, but not against the best competition. I'd have to go with Caracate. I can't. In 2025, I can't pick somebody who's at a 9-inch reach disadvantage against a heavy-handed striker. So next up, Punahele Soriano versus Uros Medic. I immediately default to Uros Medic in this one. I think he's very underrated. 31 years old, 6'1", 71-inch reach. Coming off of a knockout of Tim Means. Lost to Miktabek Oralbai, who I think is really good. He was undefeated until recently, I believe. Yeah, he lost to Mateusz Rebecki in an absolute war. That was a hell of a fight. Lost to Jalen Turner, Oralbai. Like, those are good fighters. So is Mateusz Rebecki, though. Beat Elvis Brenner. Or no, that's the wrong guy. Punahele Soriano. Miguel Beza decision. Lost to Dustin Stoltzfus. I mean, I know Dustin Stoltzfus just got that knockout recently, but I don't think very highly of him. Lost to Roman Kopylov, who's not bad. Lost to Nick Maximov, Brennan Allen. Oh, this is a welterweight too. Soriano dropped down. I forgot. Man, I would think Giros Medic takes this one. I think he's much better than Punhela Soriano. Yeah. Again, I'll look into it, but immediately assume Giros Medic is going to take that one. Andreas Gustafsson versus Preston Parsons. Now, Preston Parsons is underrated, I think. I think he's a super solid fighter. Only 29 years old, 5'11", 71-inch reach. This other guy is 6 foot, 73-inch reach, 74-inch reach. This guy's got a decent record, only lost by decision. He's fighting out of Sweden, Greco-Roman wrestling style. I know Preston Parsons is a good grappler. He's also got decent stand-up though too. He had a good fight with Oban Elliott recently, beat Matt Semmelsberger, lost to Trevin Giles, lost to Daniel Rodriguez. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen this Gustafsson guy fight, so I'd have to take a look at it. Looks like he has a win on the Contender Series, but some of those guys they bring into the Contender Series aren't that good. So we'll see on that one. But I lean Preston Parsons. He's got the UFC experience. Comes from a really good gym. He's been fighting in the UFC since 2021. Bunch of fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess not. 5 fights. Not bad. Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunez. Jose Johnson, he's like the tallest dude in that weight class, isn't he? 6 foot. Yeah, 6 foot, 71.5 reach for 125 pounds versus Felipe Bunez, who's 13-7. Why are you in the UFC? You're 13-7. 0 wins in the UFC. Lost to Joshua Van. Not a bad loss. Joshua Van surprised me in his last fight. He's pretty good, but I mean, the dude is 3 losses, 1 win, loss, win, gets a UFC shot. I don't know. I think Jose Johnson takes this guy out. Jose Johnson seems like one of those guys they're trying to build, you know, so Felipe Bunez might just be the lamb to slaughter in that one. But I could be wrong. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlston Harris. I don't know why this is so far down on the card, but Ponzinibbio he's never out of a fight. You can never really count this guy out. He's a very good fighter. He is getting old. What is he? He's 38 years old. Carlston Harris, 37 years old. The battle of the old men at welterweight. Whew, man. Ponzinibbio split to Muslim Salikov, knocked out by Kevin Holland, beat Alex Morono, lost Michelle Pereira, lost to Jeff Neal, beat Miguel Beza. This dude was on an absolute tear before Jiang Langley knocked him out. Carlston Harris got beat up by Rachmanov. Remember that one? Beats Jared Gooden, chokes out Jeremiah Wells, knocked out by Chaos Williams. Man, I'd have to think Ponzinibbio would have to take this one. I think he's much more well-rounded, much more experience as well, in my opinion, against better level competition. So I'd go with Ponzinibbio in this one. Narulo Alia versus Yanal Ashmuz. I immediately default to the Aliev just with the last name ending with a V. But Narulo, the Tajik Eagle, Aliev 9-0, 24 years old, 5'10", 72-inch reach. Yanalash moves 29, 5'9", 68-inch reach. He's gonna have a 4-inch reach advantage. Wrestler. Full beard, no mustache. Beat Rafael Alves in his UFC debut. It's a good win. Won by ground and pound. On the Contender Series, Yanalash moves. I feel like he hasn't fought the best competition. Yeah, beat Trevor Peek. I love Trevor Peek. Dude's an absolute savage. Puts on entertaining fights, but not the most technical guy. Lost to Chris Duncan, who I think is really good. I feel like he's underrated, but nah, I don't know. I think Yanalash moves. He really put it on Sam Patterson. I remember that fight. He was not supposed to win that fight. Ended up TKOing him, but still I'd have to go with Aliev. Aliev all day on that one. Austin Bashi versus Christian Rodriguez. Now is Christian Rodriguez going to derail a young up-and-coming fighter again? Very underrated fighter. C-Rod is 27, 5'7", 71-inch reach versus 5'6", 70-inch reach. Bashi, 23 years old, 13-0. That's crazy. Bashi, he was super impressive on the Contender Series. A lot of wins by choke, a lot of wins by strikes. Christian Rodriguez, I don't know, man. I think C-Rod could fraud check this guy just with his experience alone. Bashi's fought some decent guys though on the regional scene, other than Eric Vogt, 15 and 23. Like, why are you still fighting? Askar, he beat. Oh, that was submission or grappling. Sorry. Zach Riley, Dorian Ramos. No, he did beat Askar. Wow, that's a good win. That dude's no joke. I don't know. I have to look through this, but I would lean Bashi just because he's younger and he's got tons of momentum, but who knows? Victoria Dudakova versus Fatima Klein. Victoria Dudakova, she's 8-1, 5'5", 67-inch reach versus 5'6", 67.5 reach. Fatima's going to have a slight reach advantage. They're both about the same age, 24, 25. I remember when Fatima Klein was coming into the UFC, somebody told me that, or I read somewhere, not somebody told me that she was like fighting and beating up dudes in high school. And so I picked her against Jasmine Jasudavicius, but Jasmine Jasudavicius just kind of controlled her the whole time. But Jasudavicius is good. She's not bad at all. She's only got a few losses in the UFC, and it's Tracy Cortez and Natalia Silva, so no shame in that one. But we'll see. I think both these girls are strikers. I don't think Fatima Klein's gonna have to worry about the takedown in this one at all. Dudakova does have a few submission wins, but I don't know. And she's out of Russia. I don't know. We haven't really seen Fatima Klein open up on the feet yet. She was kind of just defending takedowns her entire last fight, but we'll see. But kind of a lackluster card, honestly, now that I'm running through it. A lot of bottom of the barrel fighters. It's almost like they were begging people to take fights right after the holidays, and this is all that they could put together. So I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I think they pulled Dern and Ribas off of the last week's card to have them main event this one. So they must have really been struggling to put this one together, but having fights is better than no fights. So, but yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.